Hello! This video will be a quick example of approximating square roots. So the question here says, between which two whole numbers is the square root of 15? The square root of 15 is not a perfect square, it's a non-perfect square. So that means that the actual answer is some long decimal that goes on forever. But what we can do is use our perfect squares to kind of estimate what it might be. So one strategy that I'm going to use is kind of just writing down some square roots that are around the square root of 15. So if I'm looking at my list of perfect squares, I can kind of pinpoint which one it will be in between. So I'm going to start with a square root that I do know, a perfect square, which is the square root of 9. I do know what that is. And then we have in between all of those is the square root of 10, the square root of 11, the square root of 12, the square root of 13, the square root of 14, and the square root of 15. But I don't know what any of these are, and I forgot to put another box down here, but the square root of 16 is one that we do know. So I know that the square root of 9 is 3. That's a whole number answer. That's a whole number. It's a perfect square root. The square root of 10 is not a perfect square. That means that there's no number that I can multiply by itself to get 10. No whole number. There's no whole number. So the square root of 10 does not have a whole number answer. Neither does the square root of 11, or the square root of 12, or the square root of 13, or the square root of 14. And of course, the square root of 15 is what we're trying to find, but we don't know it. We do know that the square root of 16 is a whole number answer, and that's 4. The square root of 16 is 4 because 4 times 4 equals 16. So the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 16 is 4. So that means that all of these square roots in between have some kind of decimal answer. They'll be 3 point something, 3 point something, 3 point something, getting closer and closer to 4. So we can say that the two whole numbers that the square root of 15 is in between is 3 and 4. We don't know exactly what it will be unless we can use our calculator to do that. But we do know that it will be 3 point some long decimal. And you can do this for any type of square root. If we, let's say, don't know the square root of 27, we can think about the perfect squares that are on either side of it. So I know that right above 27 is the square root of 36, which equals 6. And right below 27 is the square root of 25, which is a nice perfect square, which is 5. So that means the square root of 27 will be somewhere in between 5 and 6. So that is how you approximate square roots.